Hello and welcome to Bristol Sport TV from Ashton Gates Sports Bar. In the next 10 minutes we'll bring you all you need to know about this weekend's sporting action, plus exclusive interviews from the Bristol Sport Gala Dinner that was held here last week and involved a number of our sporting group stars, and I'm pleased to say that one of them is here with me now, Wade Elliott, former City captain, now under-21s manager. It was quite a nice get-together, wasn't it, to celebrate 2015?
It was, yeah, and we don't get the opportunity to get everybody under one roof very often, so especially not just the football club, especially because we're spread across 2 or 3 sites, but also to get everybody from the umbrella all together in one place, and it's the first time you appreciate the scope of what's being done and the scale of the operation, and it's another indicator of the direction that the club and in the wider context Bristol Sport is moving in. So yeah, all told, it was a good evening.
Well, talking about the direction Bristol Sport is moving in, let's hear what our founder, Steve Lansdown, had to say.
And I'd like to think tonight that what we're going to do is we're going to look over and celebrate the family of sports that is Bristol Sport. And it's the fact that we all pull together, we all work hard together, that makes it something very, very special. I have to say that as I drove down here tonight, I think as most people have, they've seen the new truss going up on the west stand there, the development of that stand, how it now dominates the skyline of South Bristol. It makes me feel very, very, very proud of what's been achieved down here by everybody involved.
The main reason that we all came together with our Lansdown Club members was ostensibly to launch the Bristol Sport Foundation. Now, I know you were up on stage with me a couple of times, one for that foundation launch. Let's have a listen to Martin Griffiths as he made the announcement.
And the foundation has been established to act as a focal point, or a hub, if you like, to bring this fragmented landscape together to create a more coordinated approach on how sport can change people's lives for the better. And the foundation has at its heart 4 principal areas of interest, and are health, education, participation, and something close to my heart, which is social inclusion.
Martin Griffiths, the Bristol Sport chairman there. Well, Wade, I mentioned you were up on stage for that announcement as one of our community heroes, not least for the work that you've done with young Oscar Pycroft. Talk us through that, because it has been an incredible year for him. Yeah,
Oscar is a young boy who has a form of cerebral palsy, which means that he can't walk. And his mum, Lizzie, set about raising £50,000 so that he could get an operation to hopefully enable him to walk again. And Oscar is a massive Bristol City fan. He's Bristol City
He is through and through.
Through and through. His house is decorated with Bristol City memorabilia. The Preston game really took off from there, I think. Oscar was our mascot, and we wheeled him out, and he's a very engaging character, and he spoke, and I don't think there was a dry eye in the stand. And he was up in the boardroom and getting money out of people, and
he did raise a phenomenal amount of money, wasn't it? I mean, it was over £10,000–15,000, I think it was,
huge
on just
amount,
that day.
Huge amount, yeah, and really it just showed what an impact the football club can have on a community, and how it can bring people together, and how it can really act as a focal point to bring people together and to do something good.
He will now be walking out with you for the Preston game. It is going to be an incredible day, isn't it, in January?
It's brilliant how it's come about that it was Preston that he was wheeled out before, and he was able to walk out against Preston this time, and said before about how it brought people together. Even the Preston fans were all pitching in and contributed quite a lot of money to Oscar, so hopefully 1 or 2 of them will remember him and be at the game, and especially it will be for us and our fans to see Oscar do it. Hopefully some of the Preston fans will remember it as well. OK, Wade, well, I won't let you go. A bit like the Gala Dinner, I'm going to get you back up here towards the end of the programme as we talk about City's fortunes and, of course, your transition into management. Now, let's focus on the Flyers, as last weekend saw them win back-to-back games. On Friday night, they beat Plymouth in overtime, and on Sunday, they travelled north to Cheshire to record a 14-point win over them. Understandably, top scorer Cardell McFarland was pretty pleased to help his team maintain their 100% win record against their southwest rivals.
This is absolutely the best. I mean, we got our 2nd home win of the season, and the crowd was amazing. The crowd is always amazing, but tonight, I think this is really what the team needed and what the city needed and what everybody needed for us to continue to move forward and win some more ball games.
And that Greg Street block to end regulation, how crucial was that heading into overtime?
That block was amazing. I mean, that was the biggest play of the game. I mean, you could talk about all the shots made, but that block was the key moment of the game, and it really gave us a lot more confidence going into the overtime. I mean, the two-hand, it was amazing. It was a good block. It was a really good block by Greg Street, by the captain, Greg Street.
Well, Flyers' next home game, the first of 2016, is Worcester Wolves in the first round of the BBL Trophy, and that's on Saturday, January the 9th, tip-off at 7:30 at the SGS Wise Arena. Well, the gala dinner saw representatives from across our sporting group all looking very dashing. The Flyers, they're in their DJs, always need your sunglasses on for an evening event. Bristol City women's footballer and Welsh international Georgia Evans, she sparkled up on stage along with England international rugby player Amber Reid. Well, speaking of rugby ladies, they played their last game of the regular season against Worcester, and Georgia Stone caught up with another England international and Bristol rugby player Katie Mason.
You played Worcester in the opening game of the season at Ashton Gate, and you play them again now to secure a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. Great game for us at Ashton Gate, really good opportunity for us to go out and show what we can do. We've had a bit of an up and down season, lost a lot of players, key players to injury. So we've been building that strength and depth again in our squad, so hopefully we'll be able to pull the performance again and build on Saracens this weekend. And we've let them catch up with us, unfortunately, slipped away from 3rd to 4th, and now we've got this massive game to play on Saturday, so hopefully we'll come away with the win.
Well, Bristol Sport racing stars were also up on stage at the gala dinner. Connor Hall and Dino Zamparelli. MSA champion Lando Norris couldn't be there as he was away testing in Barcelona, but his father Adam Norris did give us the nod as to who the 16-year-old will be racing for next season.
So he's going to do something called Formula Renault, which I hope he can win, which no one else has ever won in the first year as a rookie. So whether it's Hamilton or Verstappen or anyone has ever won it. So that's our target, with a team called Kaufman, who's a good German team. Going to do a bit of racing in the UK, and it's going to go to Monaco. So if anyone wants to come and join us in Monaco, not going to pay for it all, but we're going to be there watching, and he's going to be racing in Monaco this year coming.
So that's Lando Norris's plans for next season. Well, on the evening, we were lucky enough also to be joined by world champion boxer Lee Haskins, who attended with his manager and coach Jamie and Chris Sanager, all part of celebrating sporting success in Bristol in 2015. It was great to have them with us, and this is what they had to say about their Las Vegas adventure.
We had 9 weeks of preparation for that fight, the dieting. And time we get there, the guy was 5.5 pounds overweight the day of the weigh-in, and just at the last hurdle we had to jump, he's pulled out on us, so we didn't get to perform.
In terms of the experience, though, of course, you spoke straight afterwards when you were awarded the world title that actually now you're looking forward to really defend on home soil. And of course, anyone that was watching the Tyson Fury fight a couple of weekends ago, it's quite a mouth-watering prospect. You could be the undercard at Wembley. Yeah,
that's right. We're in talks now with all the team, and hopefully we'll be in the O2 and defending the belt over there. So it'd be great to get, a massive performance so we can put it on for Bristol and the Southwest. Is just we want to put great shows on now and show people that I am capable of being a great world champion, and we want to dominate.
Well, it certainly has been a busy week here at Bristol Sport, and of course the Ashton Gate Stadium redevelopment continues apace. Last week saw the enormous West Stand roof truss lifted into place. It really was quite mesmerising to see the shape of the West Stand roof finally taking shape. Right, let's take a look forward to this weekend's games then. And Bristol Rugby take on Bedford for the second time in a week in the Cup. And backs and skills coach Matt Sherratt praised the team on their 52-8 win.
Obviously made a lot of changes. We got some young players onto the pitch who did exceptionally well. So it was, as I said a couple of weeks ago, it was a good place to come into this morning. The likes of Andy Uren coming on in a game that was, still fairly tactical when he came on. I thought he showed really good maturity in terms of how he organised our forwards. He organised a little bit of a kicking game, and then obviously his score off the back of a scrum shows exactly what he's been doing for Clifton and Filton in the past. That's his game. He's an electric runner, very powerful lad for his size, and added to that, Callum Sheedy gets on first touch and he scores in the corner, and then nails a conversion. So delighted for those two lads in particular, because young halfbacks, they take a time to mature, but they show glimpses of quite an exciting future, I think.
Well, after 2 games on the road, Bristol City returned to Ashton Gate this weekend for their championship game against QPR. Here's Adam Baker.
City got off to the dream start at Huddersfield thanks to Jonathan Codger's 9th goal of the season. Frank Fielding maintained their advantage by keeping out Emir Hughes' spot kick soon after, before Aidan Flint was given the freedom of the penalty area to make it 2-0. Despite a consolation from Harry Bunn, it was Steve Cottrell's side who headed back down the motorway with all 3 points. It was a very different story on Tuesday evening as a Tom Ince-inspired Derby County ran out 4-0 winners at the iPro Stadium. Ince fired a first career hat-trick for the dominant hosts. This weekend, City host Queen's Park Rangers, which could see the return of J. Emmanuel Thomas to Ashton Gate. The match is sold out.
Well, Wade, I know we spoke earlier about the tough transition that it was going to be always moving into the Championship. What are your thoughts on how the team has done this season?
I think it was always going to be tough. It's a difficult league. We are probably the youngest team in it. We've got a team that hasn't got a lot of Championship experience, so it was always going to pose them different questions. It was always going to be a bit of a learning curve for them. The manager and the staff have been there and seen it and done it before, so I'm confident that we'll navigate this season and everyone will be much better off for having a year in the Championship, and that will put what is a young squad in a good place to push on from there, hopefully. Yeah, certainly, hopefully. You talk about a learning curve. Of course, you've endured a learning curve as well, making that transition from player into management. How have you found it? What is it like being the person telling them to go and do things rather than actually being able to get out there on the pitch and do it yourself? I've really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it more than until you jump into it. I suppose you don't know how you're going to adapt to it, now you're going to take to it, and there's nothing quite like playing. I'm fortunate enough that I can plan a training session, so I can still join in every now and again. You just use it as an excuse to go on the field. Absolutely, yep. Plan the sessions around that. Look what I can do. Yeah, this is what you should be doing. So what is your style? Are you the whole hairdryer treatment, or you're normally fairly calm? Yeah, fairly calm. I think there's only been 1 or 2 occasions I've had to lose my rag with them. But they deserved it. Yeah, they deserve it. I think if I'm losing my temper, then they know they deserve it. But no, they're a really good bunch. They want to come in, they want to get better, and they want to work hard. So I think if you're working with people like that every day, and they are giving you their all, you can't be too angry with them. Well, you say you haven't had too many opportunities to have to lose your temper with them, because they've had a fairly good season. It's just sort of tailed off more recently, and you've got Watford at home on Monday. We've Watford at home on Monday, and then we have a little break for Christmas, so it'd be nice to finish with a win and go into that in good spirits. Just talk us through as well, just finally, the under-21s and the transition. I mean, we talk about this sporting group and everyone coming together in a family of sports and a family of clubs. It is so important, isn't it, the under-21s to Bristol City? I think long term, hopefully, for the sustainability of the club, it will be, you want to be bringing people through, and that is happening. You know, we've seen George Dowling and Lloyd Kelly as well already signing their first City contracts. Yeah, and there's I think that the fans really get on board with Joe Bryan and Bobby Reid and Wes Burns, because they're local and they've come through. The supporters like seeing that, and I suppose it all links back to what we were talking about with the community earlier. It's nice for people to see one of their own playing in the first team, and someone who's been at the club for a long time, knows the culture of the club, understands what we're about and where supporters are coming from, and they can represent that on the pitch. Wade, thanks very much. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the programme and look forward to you joining us again next week on Christmas Eve. If you are still struggling to find that special Christmas present, the Bristol Sports store will be open from 9 until 1 on the 24th. And the good news is the Christmas jumpers are back in stock. I hope you have a great weekend of Bristol Sport.